let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what your guy is secretly thinking about when it comes to sex? Not the obvious stuff, not the predictable. Yeah, he wants it all the time kind of thing. I'm talking about those hidden desires, the ones he fantasizes about but never says out loud. The little kinks that, if you discovered them, would make him look at you and think, whoa, she actually gets me. See, here's the truth most people don't talk about. Men are not as simple as the stereotypes make them out to be. Sure, they like sex, but it's not just about the act. It's about excitement, about variety, about the psychology behind it. Men secretly crave experiences that make them feel wanted, vulnerable, even a little out of control. And when you, as a woman, are the one who knows how to unlock that side of him, that's when you stop being just his partner in bed and you become unforgettable. Think about it. Any woman can give him sex, but not every woman can give him the kind of experiences that light his mind on fire, that make him obsessed with you long after it's over. That's why today I'm going to share with you 6 kinky things men secretly want to try in bed. And no, this isn't about doing something extreme or stepping so far out of your comfort zone that you don't even recognize yourself. This is about playful, exciting shifts that keep passion alive, that bring out a side of him he's dying to express. So if you've ever wanted to be the woman who makes him think, she's different, she drives me crazy in all the best ways, stay with me, because this is going to be fun. When it comes to what men secretly want, one of the most powerful and honestly most surprising things to many women is the idea of you taking control. Think about it. Men are conditioned from a very young age to always be the initiators. They're expected to be the ones who make the move, who lead the interaction, who push things forward in the bedroom. And while a lot of men embrace that role, what they won't tell you is that sometimes they love the thrill of not being the one in charge. Sometimes what turns them on the most is when a woman flips the script, even just for a little while. Now, here's the thing when I say take control, I'm not necessarily talking about something extreme. I'm not suggesting you suddenly need to dominate every aspect of the bedroom. What I'm talking about is the playful reversal of power. Imagine you push him down onto the bed, climb on top of him, look him in the eye, and whisper exactly what you want him to do. For him, that's an electrifying experience. Why? Because it's unexpected. Because it gives him permission to let go. Because it tells him you're confident enough to take charge of your own pleasure, and that confidence is unbelievably sexy. Most men won't admit this, but being on the receiving end of dominance makes them feel liberated. It's like they finally get to shut off the constant performer switch in their brain. They don't have to worry about driving the whole experience forward. Instead, they get to surrender, trust you, and just enjoy. And that surrender paradoxically makes them feel even more connected to you. Because when you take control, it tells him, I'm safe enough with you to show this side of myself. That creates intimacy, not just passion. Now, let's talk about how you actually bring this into reality. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be as simple as pinning his hands above his head for a few seconds. It could be you initiating in a way that's more assertive than usual, grabbing his collar, kissing him deeply, and then telling him to lie back. Even whispering in his ear, don't move, I'm in charge right now, is enough to send shivers down his spine. It's the energy of control, not the complexity of the act, that excites him. What makes this so powerful is the psychological shift it creates. Most men live in a world where they have to constantly project strength and control. They're taught that vulnerability is weakness. But in the bedroom, when you allow him to experience the opposite, to be vulnerable, to let go, to be taken, that becomes intoxicating. It's not just physical, it's emotional. He feels more connected to you because you've shown him that you're willing to explore new sides of intimacy together. And here's something most women don't realize. When you show a man that you're capable of leading in the bedroom, even if it's just for a moment, it actually increases his attraction to you outside the bedroom too. He starts to see you as a woman who's adventurous, confident, and in touch with her desires. That's rare, and rare is magnetic. So don't underestimate the impact of light dominance and role reversal. It doesn't mean you have to change who you are or become someone you're not. It's about playfulness, exploration, and giving him something he secretly craves but may never ask for. Because once he experiences that side of you, the woman who can be soft and feminine, but also bold and commanding, he won't just want you, he'll crave you. One of the biggest misconceptions about men is that they always want things fast. You've probably heard it before. Men are visual, they're physical. They just want to get to the end goal as quickly as possible. But what most women don't realize is that some of the most powerful experiences a man can have in the bedroom don't come from speed, they come from anticipation. In fact, anticipation is one of the most erotic tools you can use with him, and that's where teasing and playful denial come in. Now, let me be clear. When I say denial, I'm not talking about rejecting him or withholding affection to punish him. I'm talking about that delicious moment where you build him up, get him desperate for more, and then hold back just long enough to make him ache for it. It's the difference between handing someone their favorite meal on a plate right away versus letting them smell it, see it, and wait until their mouth is watering before they finally take a bite. Which one do you think leaves the stronger impression? Exactly. Here's why this works so well with men biologically. Men are wired to chase. They thrive on pursuit, on working for something, on the thrill of not having it right away. So when you use teasing in the bedroom, whether it's with your touch, your words, or even your body language, you're essentially reactivating that primal instinct. You're turning the bedroom into the ultimate playground where he gets to crave you all over again. Picture this, you're kissing him passionately, things are heating up, and right when he thinks he's about to get exactly what he wants, you pull back, you smile. Maybe you whisper something like, "Not yet." And then you touch him somewhere else, his chest, his neck, his arms, anywhere, but where he's dying for it most. That little moment of delay creates an explosion of desire because now his imagination is working overtime. He's thinking, when? How? What's she going to do next? You've just turned his brain into a movie reel of obsession. The beauty of teasing is that it doesn't just heighten physical pleasure, it deepens the emotional bond. Why? Because it's playful, it's flirtatious. It shows that you're not just lying there passively. You're actively creating an experience, controlling the pace and enjoying his reaction. That tells him you're confident in your sexuality, and confidence is one of the sexiest things you can bring into bed. And here's something interesting. The men who enjoy this the most are often the ones who seem the most impatient outside of sex. The type A guys, the go-getters, the ones who are always used to getting their way, they absolutely lose their minds when you slow them down because for them it's unfamiliar, it's rare. And rare equals unforgettable. Tease and denial also make the release so much more powerful. When you finally give him what he wants, after making him wait, after watching him squirm and crave, it doesn't just feel good, it feels earned. That's the kind of experience that makes him walk away thinking about you for days. It's not just sex anymore, it's a memory, it's a game, it's a story he can't stop replaying. So if you really want to drive a man crazy, don't rush, slow it down. Play with him, make him work for it. Because sometimes the most intoxicating thing you can give a man is not instant gratification. It's the promise of what's coming next. And when he realizes that you're the only woman who knows how to do that to him, he'll be hooked on you like nothing else. When it comes to what men secretly crave, there's one thing that almost every guy has thought about, but very few will actually ask for, and that's dirty talk. Now, let me clear something up right away. Dirty talk doesn't mean you have to sound like you're reading out of some adult novel or say things that make you uncomfortable. What it really means is using your voice, your words, your tone to bring an extra layer of excitement into the moment. And trust me, for a man, hearing you express yourself like that is electrifying. See, men are incredibly visual, yes, but they're also very mental. They live in their heads a lot of the time. And when you talk dirty to a man, you're painting a picture in his mind that he can't stop replaying. Think about how powerful that is. It's one thing for him to feel what you're doing, but when he hears you describing what you want, what you like, or even what you're about to do to him, it's like you've turned his fantasy into real life. That's why it sticks with him long after the moment is over. And here's the funny thing. Most guys won't ever tell you this. Why? Because they're worried it might make them seem too much or that you'll laugh or think they're weird. But secretly, they're hoping you'll take the lead and give them that little verbal play that drives them wild. It could be something as simple as whispering in his ear, "I've been thinking about you all day," or telling him exactly how much you love the way he feels. You don't have to be graphic. It's the tone, the confidence, and the intention behind your words that makes the impact. The beauty of dirty talk is that it doesn't just excite him, it reassures him. It lets him know he's turning you on, that you're into it, that you want him as much as he wants you. And let me tell you, that is huge for a man's confidence. Men are always asking themselves in the back of their mind, is she enjoying this? Am I doing it right? Is she as turned on as I am? When you verbalize your desire, you silence all those doubts and fuel his ego in the best way possible. What makes this even more powerful is how personal it can be. The words you use with him are different than what you might say with anyone else, and that creates intimacy. It's your private language, your own little world together. It makes him feel like he has access to a part of you that nobody else does, and that's addictive. Now, if you're wondering how to start, keep it simple. Start with compliments. I love the way you touch me. You feel so good. I want more of you. These are easy, natural, and they build your confidence. Then, once you're comfortable, you can start layering in a little more playfulness, maybe telling him what you're about to do or what you want him to do to you. The key is to sound authentic, not rehearsed. Let it flow naturally in your own words. And let's not forget, sometimes the hottest dirty talk isn't even dirty at all. It's the teasing, the whispers, the way you moan his name. Even silence followed by one perfectly timed word can be more powerful than a whole speech. So don't underestimate the power of your voice. Men don't just want to touch you. They want to hear you. They want the soundtrack of your desire playing in their ear, because that's what stays with them when they're lying in bed the next day, smiling to themselves, thinking, God, she's amazing. Another thing men secretly want, but almost never say out loud, is roleplay. And let me tell you, roleplay isn't about being an actor or putting on some over-the-top performance. It's about variety. It's about creating newness in a relationship where, let's be honest, the routines can start to feel predictable over time. Men love the idea of novelty. It's what keeps the spark alive. And roleplay gives them that sense of novelty without ever leaving the relationship. Think about it. With roleplay, you could be the same person he's always been with, but suddenly you're showing him a completely new side of yourself. Maybe it's you playing the confident stranger who meets him at a bar and pretends not to know him. Maybe it's the teacher-student fantasy or the boss-secretary dynamic, or something as simple as showing up in a dress or outfit that transforms the energy of the night. Whatever the theme, it's not about the costume. It's about the psychology behind it. It taps into his imagination, and men love to feel like they're stepping into a scene from a fantasy that's been living rent-free in their head. And here's the best part. When you engage in roleplay with him, you're giving him permission to explore sides of himself that he might not normally express. Just like you, he has fantasies, but he might be too shy or worried about judgment to ever bring them up. So when you're the one who initiates it, when you say, hey, let's try something fun tonight, it makes him feel understood. It makes him feel like you're adventurous, open-minded, and willing to play with him in ways most women wouldn't. That's incredibly rare, and rare is magnetic. The beauty of roleplay is also in the emotional connection it builds. Because when you two step into a fantasy together, you're creating a shared secret, a private world that only you and him get to experience. It becomes an inside joke, a memory you can laugh about later, but also something he'll look back on and think, I can't believe she did that with me. She's amazing. That memory gets locked into his brain, and every time he thinks about you, it reactivates that sense of excitement. Now, don't think this has to be complicated. Roleplay doesn't mean a full production with props and scripts. Sometimes it's as simple as a shift in tone. Imagine you walk into the room, lean against the wall, and say, I don't usually do this, but I can't stop thinking about you. In that moment, you've already created a fantasy. You've made him feel like he's stepping into a whole new adventure with you. That's what makes it exciting. It's fresh, it's playful, it's different. What men secretly love about roleplay is the freedom it gives them. It's a break from reality. In everyday life, men are carrying stress, responsibilities, and routines. But when you create a fantasy world with him, even just for a night, you're giving him the gift of escape. And that escape bonds him to you even more because you're the one who made it possible. So if you want to light up his imagination and give him an experience he'll never forget, don't be afraid to step into a fantasy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Oscar worthy. It just has to be playful. Because when you show him that side of you, you're not just his partner, you're his adventure. And that's the kind of connection that keeps him hooked for a lifetime. Another thing that men secretly crave, though most of them won't openly admit it, is experimentation with props, things like light bondage, toys, or playful accessories in the bedroom. And let me be clear here, This isn't about needing something external to fix your sex life or about going extreme. It's about creating variety, surprise, and a sense of adventure. Because for a man, the moment he realizes you're willing to explore new territory with him, it tells him something far more important than the act itself. It tells him that with you, the spark will never fade. Here's the psychology behind it. Men are terrified of boredom in a relationship. They want to know that years down the line, passion won't just disappear. So when you pull out a blindfold or tease him with the idea of tying his hands or even introduce a toy into your play, you're sending him a powerful message. I'm the kind of woman who keeps things exciting. That reassurance is intoxicating because it makes him feel like the two of you are co-creators of adventure, not just passengers in routine. Bondage, for example, doesn't have to mean anything extreme. Even something as simple as using a scarf to tie his wrists for a few minutes flips the dynamic and gives him a new sensation he'll never forget. It forces him to surrender control, which is thrilling, but it also makes him trust you more. Why? Because he's literally putting himself in your hands. That trust builds intimacy, not just passion. And here's the twist. He'll secretly find it even sexier that you are confident enough to take the lead with something playful like that. Toys, too, are less about the object itself and more about the openness it represents. Imagine the effect on him when you casually bring a toy into the bedroom and say, "Let's have some fun." You've just told him without words that you're adventurous, curious, and willing to explore your pleasure alongside his. For a man, that's incredibly validating because it means he doesn't have to be your only source of stimulation. Instead of threatening him, it excites him because it shows him that you're in tune with your own desires. And when a woman is in tune with her desires, it drives men wild. And then there are the playful props. Things as simple as a blindfold, a feather, ice cubes, massage oils. These aren't complicated, but they change the entire atmosphere of the experience. Suddenly, it's not just sex, it's an experience, an adventure, a memory. When he looks back, he won't just think about the physical act. He'll remember the way you surprised him, the way you laughed together, the way you turned an ordinary night into something unforgettable. The secret most women don't realize is that men love the idea of being with someone who's willing to explore, not because they need wild kinks to be satisfied, but because they want reassurance that the relationship will never get stale. When you're the woman who surprises him, who introduces something new every now, and then who keeps him guessing in the best way, you become the woman he can't stop craving. So don't be afraid to experiment with light bondage, toys or props, not to shock him, but to play with him. Because the truth is, he's not just craving the act, he's craving the feeling that with you. He'll never stop discovering new sides of pleasure, new sides of intimacy, and new sides of you. And that's what makes you unforgettable. So there you have it, 6 kinky things men secretly want to try in bed. And if you've been listening closely, you probably noticed something. None of these are about shock value. None of them are about doing something outrageous just for the sake of being outrageous. They're about psychology. They're about anticipation, adventure, vulnerability, and trust. See, most people think great sex is just about technique or about doing something wild to spice things up. But what really keeps passion alive, what really makes a man addicted to you isn't the act itself. It's the experience you create around it. It's the way you make him feel in those moments desired, safe, playful, excited, vulnerable, obsessed. And that's the part most women don't realize. Men may never come out and say these things, but they crave them deeply. They crave a woman who knows how to slow them down, tease them, talk to them in ways that get into their head. They crave the freedom of stepping into a fantasy, the thrill of you taking control, the reassurance that with you, things will never become boring or predictable. When you give a man that, he doesn't just want sex with you, he wants you over and over again. So my challenge to you is this: don't just listen to this video and nod along. Try something. Tomorrow, the next time you're with him, introduce just one of these ideas, even in the smallest way. It could be a whisper in his ear, a playful tease, or a bold move where you take charge. Watch his reaction. Watch how quickly he lights up, because that's when you'll see just how powerful this really is. Now, if you enjoyed this, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 6 surprised you the most. Which one are you secretly curious to try? I love reading your stories, and you never know, your comment might inspire another woman watching this right now to take that leap too. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. because every week I'm sharing more secrets, more insights, and more ways to not only understand men, but to become the kind of woman who inspires lasting desire. Turn on the bell so you never miss an upload, because trust me, we are just getting started. Remember, intimacy isn't about being perfect, it's about being playful. It's about being brave enough to try new things and confident enough to know that you are already more than enough. So go out there, surprise him, excite him, and most importantly, enjoy yourself in the process. Because when you're having fun, when you're radiating confidence and pleasure, that's when you become irresistible.